So before I go into this, I'm going to try my best to not mention any child's name or even bring up a picture of any child. You can use context clues. I'm not going to put that in this video. Throughout his entire career, Jay-Z has been known as a stoic rapper. Even throughout all the rap beefs and controversy that he's been through, he's never really been one to show emotions in his songs. And there are only a few examples of Jay-Z actually being vulnerable and showing emotion on his records. So today I'm going to be taking a look at a shocking revelation that Jay-Z makes in some of his records and hints at. Only a couple times. He only hints at this revelation a few more times in his career before never saying anything about it again. I am not accusing anyone of anything. Jay-Z is one of my favorite rappers of all time. I am simply analyzing what I heard in the song. So we're going to be taking a look at a couple songs. One is called 444, which I'm sure many of you have heard. It's Jay-Z's most recent album to date. And the other album is called Dynasty, which came out in 2000. It's a compilation album with Jay-Z, Beanie Sigel. To me, it's a Jay-Z album because he's pretty much on every song, but you also get Beanie Sigel, you get some Memphis Bleak, etc., etc. So the 444 album is essentially about Jay-Z's and Beyonce's relationship and some of Jay-Z's shortcomings within that relationship. It feels a lot like an apology album, especially the song titled 444. It seems to be very apologetic, and this is the most vulnerable, the most apologetic that we've ever heard Jay-Z in his entire career. So while we talk about some of these songs off the Dynasty album, just keep the 444 album and its vulnerability. Keep that in the back of your head as we talk about this Dynasty album. So there are 3 songs I want to look at on the Dynasty album. One is titled Soon You'll Understand. The other is titled This Can't Be Life.
This can't be life.
And the third is titled Stick to the Script, featuring Beanie Sigel.
Streets is talking, this is gossiping.
So on Soon You'll Understand, this song is pretty much about Jay-Z breaking down about some of the heinous things that he's done in his life. He admits to doing some very questionable things on this song. I am a one-man show. I record, edit the video myself, create the thumbnail, everything. So hitting like and subscribe does help a bunch. Thanks so much. Back to the video. On verse 1, Jay-Z talks about his best friend's little sister.
My best friend's sister, grown woman and all. She see I am around girls, I ruin them all.
And how he basically helped raise her as a sister of his own.
Should I watch you mature? Nah, this ain't right.
He talks about how her mother calls him son.
Plus your mom called me son, around you since I was small.
This is basically his sister, his play sister, who he's pretty much helped raise. And then he's there for her birthdays.
I bought you earrings on your birthday.
He's there when she's having guy troubles.
Was there when your boyfriend ditched you. Life's you cried. Over my right shoulder, I told you to wipe your eyes.
He drove her to college on her first day of college.
Drove you to college your first day.
Like, it's a very familial relationship. And at the end of the verse, Jay-Z seems to admit he's fucking this girl. Like,
think of how upset your mother and brother would be if they found that you was hugging me.
He's helped raise her since she was little, and he basically just starts fucking her at some point. And to be completely fair to Jay-Z, he never explicitly says that he's had sex with her. To be completely fair, he says, think how upset your mother and brother would be if they found out you was hugging me. But I think we're all pretty much implying that he's had sex with her. It's implied that in the verse. This is kind of the climax of the verse. And his conscience is messing with him.
My conscience is fucking with me.
I don't think anyone will be upset if they found out you were hugging your sister or someone who's like a sister figure to you. He never actually says he had sex with her, but the implication is that they've had sex, which is why his conscience is messing with him. Again, these are Jay-Z's words, not mine. On verse 3, Jay-Z is talking about how his mom is raising him, successfully raising him, but how much she's struggling to do this.
You working hard like 2 or 3 jobs, trying to feed me and my siblings, making an honest living.
Working multiple jobs, doing her absolute most, and Jay-Z is only making her life harder.
Who wants to be the mother of the son who sold drugs? Co-worker saw me on the corner slinging Larry Love.
In the midst of all this, he's bringing people in and out of her house.
Your house is your house. I ain't respect the rules. I bought crack past your door. Beef with rival crews.
He's got questionable guys around her and her household. He's beefing with guys in the streets, which could eventually come back to his mom. Like, they could end up targeting Jay-Z's mom, all while she's trying her best to keep this household together. Jay-Z seems to be doing his best to just completely tear it all down. His mom is working 2 and 3 jobs trying to feed his siblings. Meanwhile, Jay-Z is taking money out of their mouths because he's winding up in jail. He needs commissary.
Oh, my kid, call found myself easing the load. I made the load heavy. I need money for commissary.
This being a complete dickhead, right? But verse 2 is the part that I want to talk about. In this verse, Jay-Z is talking to a woman who he's dating. He said he wants her to be his wife, but he's not monogamous. He's hanging out with different women. The story of a lot of rappers, right? Cool. That's not really the scandalous part though. The part that I want to talk about, and pretty much the basis of this video, occurs at the end of verse 2.
Don't wanna fight, don't wanna fuss. You're the mother of my baby. I don't want you to hate me.
What?
Don't wanna fight, don't wanna fuss. You're the mother of my baby. I don't want you to hate me.
Jay-Z says, "You're the mother of my child. I don't want you to hate me. This is about us. You're the mother of my baby," is what he says. Now, to the public eye, 2012 was when Jay-Z had his first baby, right? I'm going to refrain from using any kid's name or faces in this video. You can go do the research yourself if it means that much to you. But 2012, this is when Beyonce and Jay-Z have their first child. And I think a lot of media sites, a lot of tabloids just assumed that it's Jay-Z's first child. But on Soon You'll Understand, which came out in 2000, Jay-Z is talking to a woman in verse 2, and he says directly, "You're the mother of my baby." Now, do you guys think this is metaphor? Is he talking about something else and just using a woman as a metaphor, it's lyricism? Or do you think it's as straightforward as the rest of the song seems to be? He's talking about all these mishaps that he's done. In verse 2, Jay-Z is talking about constantly wronging this woman, even though she is the mother of his child, the mother of his baby. And it doesn't stop there. On this very same album, Jay-Z mentions it again. On the song called "Stick to the Script," which features Beanie Siegel, Jay-Z on verse 2 says,
Who's his baby's mom? Who we got pregnant? Let me tell you,
everybody's stressing. Who's his baby moms? Who we got pregnant? Let me tell you. This seems to be Jay-Z responding to the public outcry or just a public sentiment of what's going on in his life. People are gossiping about him. People are having rumors about him. He seems to be responding to a popular rumor about him impregnating someone and having a baby. That's why he says it like this. Who's his baby mom? Who he got pregnant? Let me tell you. Like, he's toying with it because he's like, I'm not going to answer this directly, which he never has, by the way. To Jay-Z's credit, he's never answered this directly. I don't know if he's ever been asked this directly either. But on this song, this song is from the same era. It's on the same album from the year 2000. So it kind of defeats the possibility that on Soon You'll Understand,
you're the mother of my baby.
Jay-Z is just using a metaphor. You're the mother of my baby. Oh, he doesn't mean an actual woman and a child. He's a metaphor for something else. Quote at the end of verse 2 kind of defeats that, because Jay-Z essentially acknowledges there are rumors about what's happening regarding him and a baby mother.
Who's his baby's mom? Who we got pregnant? Let me tell you,
And also, to be fair, I do want to mention the song "This Can't Be Life," which also features Beanie Siegel. On this song, Jay-Z mentions a miscarriage.
Baby mama water burst, baby came out stillborn, still I gotta move on.
He said it gets worse. Baby mama water burst. So this is the third baby mama reference he has on this one album. Again, I've never seen anyone, well, number one, I really don't see many people talking about the Dynasty album in general. It kind of gets left out of Jay-Z discography conversations for some reason. But the few times I have seen people talk about Dynasty, I've never heard them talk about how often this elusive baby mama is referenced. She's referenced 3 times on one album. But on here, he mentions a miscarriage. Baby mama's water burst, baby came out stillborn. So I gotta move on. My heart's still torn, the life is gone from her womb.
Though my heart's still torn, life gone from her womb.
So it appears that Jay-Z is speaking about a miscarriage that happened. So there's also the possibility that Jay-Z is talking about the same girl. In all 3 of these different songs, Soon You'll Understand, Stick to the Script, and This Can't Be Life, but there was a miscarriage, right? My heart goes out to Jay-Z and the affected parties. I mean, if that's true, again, I don't see why it wouldn't be true, but I can anticipate people saying that these are just metaphors or this is just rapping, these are just stories. I think that will pretty much be the end of it, right? Jay-Z talks about having a baby mom, which I think a lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people haven't heard this album, or if they have heard this album, they kind of maybe skipped over this part or not really heard it. So I think that's going to shock a lot of people. And it's fair to say, Jay-Z said there was a miscarriage. So there was a baby, there was a baby mama, there's a miscarriage. What else do you want to know? Do you want to get deeper into his life? Cool. I mean, I understand that response. I do want to bring up 2 more things. I remember being, super into the music scene, early 2000s, and someone who was a musician in New York City, I don't want to say her name because I'm not sure if she's still an entertainer. I don't want to affect what she's got going on, but we'll just call her K. We'll just call her K, right? I remember saying like, yo, Jay-Z's my favorite rapper. You're from New York City. We were having a conversation and she's like, Jay-Z, whatever. I'm like, why do you say that? And then she just basically goes on about how he has a kid that he doesn't take care of. And she's like, to me, this is news to me at the time. And I'm like 15 at the time. I'm like, bro, what? But she goes on and on about like, yo, this is not news to anyone who lives in New York. This has been following him his whole career. The people who know. She was just explaining why she's not very fond of Jay-Z. I said, okay, this has nothing to do with me. It's still my favorite rapper. So me, that's just my personal anecdote. Kay, she could be lying. She could not know what she's talking about. She could not be as tapped in as she made herself seem, right? It's an anecdote to be taken with a grain of salt. But I also want to bring up this recent interview from one of Jay-Z's former artists named Oschino. And in this interview, Oschino, in the same way Kay told me, Oschino explains it in this interview the exact same way it was told to me like in 2009, 2010.
The daughter he got. I'm not hiding my daughter for nobody. The whole reason to get money is for your kids. He do shit I don't understand. Maybe it's above my thinking. I don't know. I think his mom was underage or something when he was born, so I think that's probably...
Oh.
She was 15 when she had him.
How old was Jay?
Like 20-something, I guess. Ho got a daughter. Don't claim it, don't say nothing, but he claim it on the low. I got a daughter. If you don't claim your daughter in front of the public, you claim your other daughters, that's kill you know how girls is, bro.
So I'll end the video like this. What do y'all think? Is Jay-Z hiding a child?
You are hiding a child.
Again, I'm not trying to do this whole deep dive investigative report into the guy's life. I'm not saying he's hiding a child, true or false. I'm not even saying it's bad. Let's say it is true that Jay-Z is hiding a child. I'm not even saying that's bad. People have their reasons. I mean, as a celebrity, you may want to keep your kids out of the public eye. Like, I don't know the inner workings of any agreement that either party involved may have had. I'm just making observations that I had after listening to Stick to the Script and hearing Jay-Z mention the baby mama for the third time on the album. I mean, I have my own thoughts on all that, but it's really not important here. And it's really none of my business. Again, I'm just making observations based on Jay-Z's music. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think on these 3 songs, Soon You'll Understand, Stick to the Script, and This Can't Be Life, Jay-Z mentions this baby mother on those 3 songs. Do you think he's talking about the same woman? Do you think it just ended in a miscarriage and that's the end of that story? Or do you believe Kay and Oschino, like, no, this kid actually exists? Like, Jay-Z may be mentioning 3 baby mamas, but it could be 2 different women or 3 different women. Like, one story may be for one woman, another story for another. And like, I don't know. What do you think?